Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 27, Text 6. Yesterday we were hearing about the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Also the Bhagavatam, first two cantos are the lotus feet of Krishna. And then slowly as we read the cantos, then we are gradually approaching the face of Lord Krishna. And the 10th canto is the lotus smiling face of Krishna. So Sneha, you were saying you're attracted to the lotus smiling face of Krishna. It's very good because just yesterday I happened to hear Prabhupada was saying this, that the 10th canto is the lotus smiling face of Krishna. Okay. So text 6. Yamadhibir yoga pather abhaya san shraddha yanvitaha mai bhavena satyena matkatha shravanena cha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. One has to become faithful by practicing the controlling process of the yoga system and must elevate himself to the platform of unalloyed devotional service by chanting and hearing about me. So we can see that the instructions are so clearly given to us. Krishna comes, yada yada hi dharmasya, he says that whenever there is a religion is there, religion is destroyed, he comes again and again to give us clear principles of religion. Here Kapila Muni, Lord Kapila Dev is very clearly telling to Devahuti that one must elevate oneself to the platform of unalloyed devotional service. How? By chanting and hearing about me. So we are saying that Kali Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan, but we can see this Sankirtan was happening even in the previous ages, not only in Kali Yuga. So the chanting of the holy names has always been there in the previous yuga also. Yoga is practiced in 8 different stages, yam, niyam. So the yoga in 8 different stages is Ashtanga yoga. That's why it's called Ashtanga, 8 angas, 8 stages, which begins by yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. Yam and niyam mean practicing the controlling process by following strict regulations. So yam and niyam are the do's and the don'ts, what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. The yogi, before he starts his yoga practice, has to follow this do's and don'ts. Like for us, we are bhakti yogis. So for us, the do's and don'ts are, does anyone know what is our do's and don'ts? Well, the do's are hearing and chanting.
Yeah. The don'ts are that like we have to follow those. We cannot break the 4 regulative principles.
That's right.
And the do's are the chanting and hearing and reading Bhagavatam and being in association of the devotees, serving deity, and the sadhana, the regular procedures that we do.
Yeah. So then, that's right. And then practicing the controlling process by strict following regulations, and asana refers to the sitting postures. So the yogi has to follow the different asana, the different postures. This help raise one to the standard of faithfulness in devotional service. The practice of yoga by physical exercise is not the ultimate goal. The real end is to concentrate and to control the mind and train oneself to be situated in faithful devotional service. So the goal of yoga is to come to the point of pure devotional service. That's what Lord Kapila Dev is telling to Devahuti, that you follow the yoga system, you must come to the point of pure devotional service by hearing and chanting about me. Bhavena or bhava is very important factor in the process of yoga or in any spiritual process. Bhava is explained in Bhagavad Gita 10.8. Buddha bhava samanvitaha. One should be absorbed in the thought of love of Krishna. So we need to think of Krishna with this bhava, Buddha bhava samanvitaha. Love of Krishna. When one knows that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the source of everything, and that everything emanates from him, aham sarvasya prabhavaha, then one understands the Vedanta aphorism, janmadi asya yataha, the original source of everything. And then he can become absorbed in bhava, or the preliminary stage of love of Godhead. So Prabhupada is explaining to us here that bhava is before love, before we each have love of God in our heart. Before love fully expresses in our heart comes the stage of bhava, emotion for Krishna. And we should come to this point. Prabhupada is saying when we understand that Krishna is God and that he is the source of everything, everything is coming from Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhava, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Then one understands the Vedanta aphorism, Janmadi asya yata. Janmadi asya yata is the first verse of the first canto of the first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Vyasadeva begins the Bhagavatam with this Janmadi asya yata. That Krishna is the original source of everything. So Rupa Goswami explains very nicely in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu how this bhav or preliminary stage of love of God is achieved. Now we may say, my God, I don't have bhav for Krishna. I have bhav for many other things. I cry for many other things, but I'm not able to cry for Krishna. What do? It's okay. It's okay. We can see how it develops. Rupa Goswami has explained it in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which Srila Prabhupada compiled as Nectar of Devotion. So he states that first of all, one has to become faithful, Shraddhayan Vitaha. Faith is attained by controlling the senses, either by yoga practice, following the rules and regulations and practicing the sitting postures, or by engaging directly in Bhakti Yoga, as recommended in the previous verse. So faith, Shraddha, the preliminary faith has to be there. You know, when we have a slight faith, then we begin to associate with the devotees. So of the 9 different items of Bhakti Yoga, the first and foremost is to chant and hear about the Lord. Bhakti begins by hearing and chanting. So this, we need to continue doing it so that the faith which is there, the slight faith which is there, it can grow. It can grow, can become deeper, it can become stronger. That is also mentioned here, Mat Katha Shravanena Cha. One may come to the standard of faithfulness by following the rules and regulations of the yoga system. And the same goal can be achieved simply by chanting and hearing about the transcendental activities of the Lord. So in the Ashtanga yoga system, one comes to the point of faith by following the yam niyam, asan. But in bhakti, we can just immediately by hearing and chanting revive this faith. So we can see that because the Ashtanga yoga process is also a bona fide process. So the goal is the same, but it's just impractical for us in this Kali Yuga to follow it. In Kali Yuga, it's very difficult for us. So we are just advised, you hear and chant. You hear and chant. You just avoid the 4 sinful activities and you continue hearing and chanting. The word cha is significant. Bhakti yoga is direct and the other process is indirect. But even if the indirect process is taken, there is no success unless one comes fully to the direct process of hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. So we can see that even if one comes, it begins the Ashtanga yoga process, one is beginning the process of Ashtanga yoga. For him to get perfection, he has to come to Bhakti Yoga. No matter what process we take, for us to get perfection, has to come to Bhakti Yoga. That is the point. Therefore, the word Satyena is used here in this connection. Swami Sridhar comments that Satyena means Nishkapatena, without duplicity. Without duplicity, we should take up the process of hearing and chanting. The impersonalists are full of duplicity. Sometimes they pretend to execute devotional service, but the ultimate idea is to become one with the Supreme. This duplicity, kapata. The Bhagavatam does not allow this duplicity. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is clearly stated, Paramo Nirmatsaranam. This treatise, Srimad Bhagavatam, is meant for those who are completely free from envy. The same point is again stressed here. Unless one is completely faithful to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engages himself in the process of hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, there is no possibility for liberation. So if we really are, what do we say, want our good for our own self, if we really want perfection for ourselves, then we have to give up this duplicity in our heart. We have to give up the idea that I want to become God, that right now I'm not God, but one day I will wake up and I will become God. We need to give up that idea if we really care about our own self. And we need to take up the process of hearing and chanting with sincerity, with faith. With faith, continue hearing and chanting. That is the word of God. It's the instruction given by God that hear and chant from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So we should not doubt this point. So completely faithful to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, engages himself in the process of hearing and chanting. There is no possibility for liberation if we don't do this. If we at all want perfection, we need to come to the point of faithfully hearing and chanting and give up this envy that we have. But we may say, but I still have envy. Well, it doesn't matter. We continue to hear and chant. Gradually, the heart will be cleaned. As we were hearing recently, right? We were hearing in Caitanya Caritamrta that how with the love of God, the whole world is inundated. And when it's inundated, everyone is drowned in that love. All the other material desires, everything is gone away. Same, we need to inundate our heart with hearing and chanting, with love of Krishna, and automatically the material desires will go away. In this connection, I had heard a nice example by Bhakti Charu Maharaj. He would say that you see the rice fields. With the rice field, what happens is the paddy, it's grown, but together with it, the weeds are also there. But the rice field is flooded with water. It's flooded with water. And then what happens is the weeds die and the rice plant grows. The rice grows very nicely. So similarly, we need to flood our hearts with hearing and chanting, and the material desires will automatically be destroyed. And love of God, our creeper of love of God, will fructify very nicely. Is that okay? Did you want to add anything or comment anything?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I just believe, the more you keep chanting, and gradually your desires also gets lessened. It reduces.
Yeah, you have personal experience of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt it.
Yes, that's good. Yes, that's what we should be.
Interest gets less, towards this material things. It's reducing.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your realization. Yes, because then that gives us faith also to continue to follow, to continue to hear and chant. Yeah. The attachment becomes a little lesser, right?
Yeah, correct. The attachment, more than anything, the attachment, yes.
Yeah, it gets a little lesser. We don't get so,
So
like how
yeah,
before we would be like,
yes,
oh my God, it's the end of the world, you know?
yeah, right. Like
Yeah,
you can
thank
do
you.
without it. Yeah, I feel it's, yeah.
Yes, you can do without it. Yes,
Do without
yes.
it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And we should be able to experience this. You know, if we are hearing and chanting, we should be able to experience this. If not, then we need to understand, oh, what am I not doing correctly?
Mm,
Let me see what's wrong. Oh, good. Thank you so much.
yeah.
So we have a tried and tested stand from Sneha right now. So we should all continue hearing and chanting with faith.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm trying, like, see, like movies and all. Now I don't have interest watching movies. At one time, it used to be like, okay, the other day I put on, but after 10 minutes, I think I said, no, I can't take it. Just turn it off. I don't know, not enjoying it. Like, that attachment is not there anymore for all these things. Like, that interest, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice, because you have tasted the higher taste of Bhagavatam, of the holy name. Yeah, it's true what you're saying. Yes, it's true. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Krishna is like that. Thank you so much. So we continue reading. Sarva Bhuta Samatvena Nirverena Prasangataha Brahmacharyena Maunena Swadharmena Baliyasa. In executing devotional service, one has to see every living entity equally without enmity towards anyone, yet without intimate connections with anyone. One has to observe celibacy, be grave, and execute his eternal duties, offering the results to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who seriously engages in devotional service is equal to all living entities. Krishna says also, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma, na sochati na kangshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. So here, Lord Kapila Dev, he's saying the same thing, that see every living entity equally. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, sama sarveshu bhuteshu. See, be equal to all living entities. There are various species of living entities, but the devotee does not see the outward covering. He sees the inner soul inhabiting the body. Because each and every soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he does not see any difference. That is the vision of a learned devotee. So this is the Samadarshina Panditaha, a learned devotee. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, that one who's truly learned, he does not see the different bodies. He just sees the soul and the super soul sitting next to him. And he understands that, oh, this soul is in the body of a Brahmana because he's taken the right choices. And, oh, this soul is in the body of the dog because he has misused his independence. So he does not see any difference. He just sees everyone as a part and parcel of God. So this is a liberated platform to be able to see everyone equally. Now, when we see everyone equally, then we may say, oh, so yeah, so the Brahman is also a soul and the tiger is also a soul. So let me speak very sweet words with the tiger and let me pay obeisances to the tiger. No, we have to be practical. We can't go and we try to pay obeisances to the tiger, then gone, finish. We will be in the tiger's stomach. So even though the tiger is also a soul, yes, same, but we have to act practical platform, understand the way we have to behave with different living entities. That's the point. As explained in Bhagavad Gita, a devotee or a learned sage does not see any difference between a learned Brahmana, a dog, an elephant, or a cow, because he knows that the body is the outer covering only, and that the soul is actually part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Of course, if we are on the stage of Haridas Thakur, but we cannot imitate him. Haridas Thakur, the snake left the cave. The snake said, my God, because of me, Haridas Thakur is being, the other people who are coming to meet Haridas Thakur are becoming scared. They will stop coming to meet him. So let me leave the cave. Haridas Thakur was not troubled at all by the snake because he's totally immersed in love of God. No, we are not Haridas Thakur. So we should not even imitate. But the point we need to understand is that, yes, every living entity is a part and parcel of God. And that the outer body is just the covering. And so we should try to see everyone equality, but deal on a practical way. A devotee has no enmity towards any living entity, but this does not mean that he mixes with everyone. This is the point. That is prohibited. Aprasangata means not to be in intimate touch with everyone. A devotee is concerned with his execution of devotional service, and therefore he should mix with devotees only in order to advance his objective. He has no business mixing with others. For although he does not see anyone as his enemy, his dealings are only with persons who engage in devotional service. Now we may say, but the whole world is not a devotee, and I go out in the world, I have so many things to do. I have to work, I have to study, I have to, whatever, travel, and there's not everyone's a devotee. What do I do? The idea, the point here is we deal with everyone as much as is needed, as much as it's needed. Yeah, that's the point. But with a devotee, we need to hear and chant about Krishna. Hearing and chanting.
Does it also mean that he's the same to a friend and foe, like how in Bhagavad Gita chapter 12 it says? Does it mean that you are same to a friend and foe? Sama shatru cha mitrecha tatamana maniyo.
Yeah, he does not see anyone as an enemy or as a friend. Yes, that's right. Yes, Prahlad Maharaj also says that in his prayers. So this is pure devotee. Yes, that he does not see, oh, this is my friend, this is my enemy. But yet, with the devotees, he will hear and chant. And with others, whatever business is there, he will associate to that degree. Yeah. Yeah, devotee has no enemies. He does not see anyone as his enemy. A devotee should observe the vow of celibacy. Celibacy does not necessitate that one be absolutely free from sex life. Satisfaction with one's life is permitted also under the vow of celibacy. The best policy is to avoid sex life altogether. That is preferable. Otherwise, a devotee can get married under religious principles and live peacefully with a wife. So celibacy means, okay, if you're married, then you can have like sex life with your wife under the rules and regulations. A devotee should not speak needlessly, because as many people then they say, oh, celibacy, so I will artificially give up this ashram and I will artificially try to be on a sannyas level or a brahmachari level. No, then rather get married, rather get married and live peacefully and at the same time engage in devotional service. A devotee should not speak needlessly. A serious devotee has no time to speak of nonsense. He is always busy in Krishna consciousness. Whenever he speaks about Krishna. Mauna means silence. Silence does not mean that one should not speak at all, but that he should not speak of nonsense. He should be very enthusiastic in speaking about Krishna. So silence, it does not mean don't talk at all, that, oh, for 3 years, I'm not going to speak at all. No, we have the tongue, we have the mouth, speak about Krishna. This is the Lord Chaitanya's instruction, Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. Speak about Krishna, bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, koro Krishna shiksha. Tell everyone about this. So the idea is when we are speaking about Krishna, that is silence. We are not speaking about nonsense. Why nonsense? Because others are just relative. It's all temporary to the body. So now, does it mean somebody comes up and tells us, oh, I've had such a bad day. No, don't talk to me. You're talking nonsense. And we cover our ears. What do you think?
It's wrong.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We need to be, we can't take it like, okay, no, go away from here. Don't tell me about how was your day. Only talk to me about Krishna. No, we need to be, when somebody's coming and talking to us, be compassionate to them and try to connect them to Krishna in some way or the other. Be a kind friend to everyone, and deal with everyone as they are dealing with, because somebody may be on the body platform, somebody will be on the mental platform, whatever it is, we are not on the platform of the soul as yet, right? We are not there. So we should not artificially do it. But at the same time, avoid speaking unnecessarily. Speak as much as is needed. So avoid unnecessary.
Be in the world, but don't be of the world. Something
That's
like
right.
that it says, right?
Something like that. Something like that. That's right. Yes. Something like that. Whatever is needed, we need to do. We cannot be neglectful.
Yeah, what to do?
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, don't be neglectful.
True. Yeah.
Yes.
So like you are in this world, okay, you will have to face people, but you don't have to get too involved in it, in unnecessary things, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And so we should not artificially try to renounce. No, I'm detached. I can't hear anything about Krishna. Then what will happen? Our heart will become very hard. When we are trying to artificially renounce, what happens? The heart becomes hard. And Krishna is never attracted to a hard heart. So, no, as you just said, be in the world, not of the world. Yeah, we need to do whatever is needed and try our best to connect everyone to Krishna. So, yeah, not try to artificially renounce and make ourselves hard-hearted. No. Another important item described here is swadharmina, or being exclusively occupied in one's eternal occupation, which is to act as the eternal servitor of the Lord or to act in Krishna consciousness. Swadharma. What is our swadharma? Our sanatan dharma. I am eternal servant of God. That is our sanatan dharma. I am an eternal servant of God. Now we have forgotten that. And that's why we are serving so many other people. I'm sorry, and serving our own senses and our false ego. Why? Because it's our nature to serve, but we don't know who to serve. So we are serving everyone except God. Acting in a service to the Lord is to act in Krishna consciousness. The next word, Baliyasa, means offering the results of all activities to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A devotee does not act on his personal account for sense gratification. Whatever he earns, whatever he eats, and whatever he does, he offers for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Karma Yoga. Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhoshi, dadashi, yad. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you give away, do it, O Arjuna, as an offering to me. Whatever we do, we should do it for the pleasure of Krishna. Why? So that we don't get attached to the results. When we get attached to the results, we will get karma. When we offer it to Krishna, it becomes karma yoga. It becomes karma yoga, because this result, my dear Krishna, is for your pleasure. Is for your pleasure. So that gradually will bring us to Bhakti Yoga. Yes. Now we may say, whatever you earn, but oh, I need so much money for my maintenance. What do I do? Oh, okay, so we take whatever is needed for our maintenance, and then we also try to support the Krishna consciousness movement. Whatever we eat, we offer to Krishna. Whatever we do, Krishna, let me do it for your pleasure. And when we try to do that, we will see that our duties, we will be able to do it in a better way. Is that okay?
Yes.
So, anyone wanted to add anything or comment anything? So this is like a very important section. This is the like, you know, third canto. This is the main section, Kapila Shiksha. So many instructions are here. And it leads us to hearing and chanting with faith, with determination. Yesterday we heard Tivrena, Bhakti Yogena Tivrena. With faith, without doubt, continue to hear and chant. So we end on that note. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Sorry to go over time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.